And welcome back to part 47 of Neptunia VIIR, where today we're going to be reuniting everyone together so we can try and start our final confrontation with Kurome. But it's the voice of Neptunia, which means she went all the way over there. At first the console was taken, but thanks to everyone's help we managed to get it back. I wasn't sure what we'd do when the dark CPU appeared, but we used the share crystal from Uzume and defeated it. Looks like I was right in giving it to you for its insurance. Good job, Gearsy. How are things with all of you? We came back over here because we were following the other Uzume, but she escaped. Followed? Yeah, we thought she called Kurome to escape, but instead she ran all the way over here. But we lost sight of her. Ran? How the heck can you run all the way to here? You know the big hole you guys went to investigate before? She destroyed the rubble blocking the way and came over here. It was most definitely because we captured Krusty again. The last boss running away from Hyperdimension. It's incredibly surreal. I kind of want to see that. By the way, what did you do while we were away? After we defeated our fakes, Uzume got a little confused, but thanks to Umio she was able to clear her head quite a bit. Confusion? Apparently because her memories were tainted with hatred, she had come to believe that they were worse than they actually are. After sorting out her feelings out, Uzume realised she didn't really despise the world, and the world didn't despise her either. I'm relieved to hear that, thank goodness. Sorry to make you worry, Gearsy, and thanks to you that I can be myself too. Huh? What do you mean, thanks to me? You were the one sorting through those broken reports, yes? Those were the records of what happened before Uzume was sealed. Perhaps because this world was created to resemble the Planetoon from Uzume's memories, they slipped in. You have my gratitude as well, so thank you. What's going on? Looks like she finally went ahead and did it. What do you mean, Kurome? Explain things. You remember the dimension where you got me, right? I've given her the power of the CPU from that dimension. The power is freaking amazing. It lets you interfere with dimensions after all. Moving this dimension is a sitch if you're going to even use a fraction of that power. But I told her to wait until she revived before using it, since it's so strong it'd swallow her up. But it looks like she's taken it, all of it. She's planning to speed up the fusion of the dimensions. Now that we're here, there's no stopping it. I finally get to see some interesting history. Then we've got to hurry and find where Kurome is. But what would we even do there? We can't just defeat her and expect all these problems to magically be solved. As long as she's the embodiment of hatred, we can't persuade her either. No, I got a plan. Hurry, let's go find her. God, doing these voices. Well, I love this game. I'm looking forward to being on the other side of it where I don't have to do voice acting again. At least for a few more games, because the next few are completely voice acted. The next time I have to worry about it, I think it's going to be another JRPG, but one thing at a time, eh? Anyway, if you're not going for the true ending, this is the last dungeon of the game, Depths of the Heart. And I love the fact that this is like the last proper dungeon of the game, because it's a full circle. Because the very first dungeon of the game was this layout with Whirlpool of Delusions, this theme playing in the background. And now the last dungeon of the game is a similar aesthetic with the same theme. I said knowing that this isn't the proper last dungeon, but if you're not going for the true ending, this is, and for the sake of what comes afterwards, this is the last hazard almost, the final hazard. Because everything afterwards is more like an encore, and I don't think it's as tough as what this dungeon and, for better purposes, the final boss that we're going to be fighting in this part are worth. Although there are bosses after this one, this is pretty much the final boss in terms of difficulty and what it throws at you. Everything afterwards is just wrapping up loose ends. As I still don't get the abilities from the Wild Blanc and Vert and realise that, oh wait, no one's in my team. But because of the significance of the fight, I wanted Uzume to be on the front row, so you can see I'm fighting myself a little bit. It's like, okay, well, how do I want this? Because the only people who aren't that don't really cross my mind in making my team are IF and Compa, just because of how weak they are compared to everyone else. And it also gives me a chance to go through everyone's equipment and make sure everyone's up to snuff. Oh, and re-equip the discs. As you can see, it just crossed my mind at that point. I was like, oh wait.
This looks freaking very lovely.
God, the theme is amazing. Not that past me gave me much time to let you guys listen to the music, but seriously, I know I keep mentioning it, but this soundtrack is definitely worth listening to. This is a great dungeon theme. It really fits the tension and atmosphere of it. Like, I remember on my first playthrough when you start the game, so this is the first dungeon theme you hear, and one of the first themes straight up that you hear when you start the game because of the events of the game, like in part 1 of how quickly you get thrown into Zero Dimension. And so I remember when I got here, I just kind of stopped for a second and then just took it in. So I was like, oh my god, this meme's amazing. Like, it really is amazing, like a really solid dungeon theme and a really good theme in general. I don't know why I went for something as extreme as Umio Heaven, but here we are.
You were such a pain. I've been waiting. I'm gonna beat you up.
But then following on my... Now, because I've just got the music on my mind, following on my point from the other part where I said I'd love it for it to be like 5 acts. One of the things that's kind of crossed my mind after making that, like... After making my point of what I'd like it to be, I hope they don't make it a different battle theme per act, because I think that would be too much work. I think if they keep it different theme per dimension, I think they'll be fine. Because my like headcanon of how I wanted the 5th game to be should only cover 3 dimensions anyway. At least I think it would. And 2 of them are dimensions we already know about. Like, one of them's hyper dimension and one of them's ultra dimension, one we've both explored before. The only one that might be new is wherever Uzume's travels take her if we decide to go down that road. Also, there is a lot of loot in this area as well. A lot of boxes to destroy, but it really doesn't matter at this point. But a lot of them are more powerful equipment pieces and armor pieces, similar to the last dungeon, like this Goddess Bangle, which, although isn't that great on Neptune, because she's already got the Celestia Bangle, is good for other people if you can find someone to put it on. Don't prove me wrong, game. God, that's such a sacrifice. To be fair, you get the amount of ability points and SP points that you regenerate is increased if you have it equipped. Look, by +6 and +2. Anyway, let's move on. And that's the thing, we're running out of new enemies to encounter. Like, eventually every normal fight's gonna just get skipped regardless of where we are, because we're running out. Not that that's a bad thing, you always reach a point no matter what you play where you kind of cross that line and go, well, hang on a minute, we're not getting anything new. Also, if you come all the way out here, which is pretty out of the way, but there's a new costume set that is the same aesthetic design as Uzume's default, just the stats are through the roof, so you get her original look just in time for the final boss, which I think is kind of fitting. And also, it's a really effective armor set as well, so I was more than happy to throw it on her. And it also makes more sense for a fight coming up in a few parts from now, like the actual proper final boss, even though I don't really care. What the hell? Did you see what that enemy just did? It just had like a little moment and just flipped out over the platform.
Oh, how I love that level up sound. Oh, I'm
God, everyone leveled up from that fight.
Nicely. Hey, I did it.
But even though like, the last proper fight will make a lot more sense to have Uzume dressed up the way she is, even though what I count as the final boss is coming up in literally just a few minutes. It's just there. As we have one more random encounter just to clean it up, I suppose. But when you're ready, go on to the event and get ready for your final encounter.
Yo, been waiting on you, me, or rather, Uzume. Even if I come here, what can you possibly do? If you kill me, this world and I will disappear. If you don't kill me, Hyperdimension and Heart Dimension will fuse. I myself will become Hyperdimension. Then I have one question. You absorbed the CPU power from another world that Krar had, right? How's that CPU power feel? Is it awesome? Of course. Thanks to the power to interfere with this dimension, I was able to speed up the fusion. Just a little longer. A little longer and the two dimensions will fuse. You're stuck, me. Then it's decided. Nepsi, let's bust her face in! Then we'll take that CPU's power!
We obtain the power to interfere with dimensions and stop the fusion. So that's the plan.
You got it! If we get that interference power, we might be able to do something about this world even if we defeat her!
Then we know what we gotta do. And this as cool as you can, Uzume!
Right. Today, right here, I'll defeat me, the Uzume Tanoboshi drowning in hatred! Now you've said it. Then I will defeat myself and the others in this very place. I was planning to have you all taste eternal hell as part of my revenge. But any more than this and you'll just get in my way. Come here, dark purple. Green, black, and white as well.
How? But we should have defeated Purple!
Dark CPUs are but a product of my delusion. As long as I have negative energy, I can create as many as I like. I still have your powers, too.
But we have the sharing field over here. No matter how many dark CPUs you create, they're no match for us.
Then how about this? Green, black, white. Become one with purple.
What in the frickin' what?
So, how do you like this ultimate dark CPU, which carries all the powers of the CPUs? And lastly, if I fuse together with it, it will be the birth of the ultimate dark CPU!
This is the ultimate! This is the most suitable power to take revenge on the scum of game industry!
This form is quite the stockpile.
Not only does it have the power sucked away from us, but the power of the CPU from another dimension. That's not all either. She has negative energy as well.
Come on, why are you guys getting all weak-kneed now? Didn't we expect this from the start?
Useless, useless, useless! The likes of those who can't fight properly without their precious sharing field is no match for me! Even if you did activate the field, it wouldn't be capable of suppressing my power!
You so sure about that? I'll show you my hidden ace.
Your hidden ace? What a laugh! No matter what card you have, it can't stop me!
Oh yeah? What about that sheer crystal over there in the distance?
Are you insane? That is our lifeline! If you use it up, that would mean our death! Do you understand that?
What? You can't go down with her, Uzume! You gotta stay alive!
Don't worry, Nepsi. I'm not the suicidal type. I'll use the crystal's power for the sharing field until there's just a little left. If the main source weakens, she should weaken too.
You scum! What useless resistance!
You held back on us for too long. The fact that you have no friends isn't helping either. This is gonna be my last HDD. Transform!
Sharing field, activate! Sharing field, activate!
Right, here we go. Dark Orange. Essentially the final boss of the game. There's no fight after this that's as hard as this fight. And in terms of what it's been building up to and how we've been working it, I've always just counted this as the final boss. Additionally, what's different about this giant fight is the extra platforms. As you look, there are 2 extras that have been added on either side. So everyone is going to have to jump 2 platforms at least if you want to get people to circle this boss. Meaning more turns will be wasted early on. Also, it has its own theme. We're not listening to Encounter Destiny, we are listening to the final boss theme, which I will let play out later on, but I need to talk strategies. The boss fight here does work a little different to how the previous giants have. Namely, she has more than 1 weapon. Well, 2. She has a sword and an axe. And both of them are threatening in their own rights because they float behind her. They are not on her sides. So if you want to destroy them, you need someone to get behind her. But she will always be attempting to face whoever you're targeting. Well, whoever you're playing as. So you need to keep that in mind when moving around, that she will be using that to make sure you don't get behind her. Which is why it's the most important to get someone behind her.
Who's my opponent?
As you can see, I'm only getting everyone to jump 1 platform for now until other people can shuffle around.
I'll show you the power of the protagonist.
Accept your nightmare.
But the thing is, one of her weapons is Ice Elemental and the other I think is Fire Elemental. But I'm waiting for it to show. So because of that, your elemental resistances are only going to be so effective because she is going to be using it against you. God, I love this theme.
It's all over now.
Like, keep in mind how many Final Fight-esque themes this game has had. When you think Act 1 had Encounter of Destiny and then that first song. The second one had Shogun and then the second song, and now this one's got this theme, which I think is called like Take Your Heart or something like that. I'll have to quickly look it up whilst we're fighting away.
Spiral Dream!
And you see right now, every time we're turning to a new attack, Dark Orange is always facing us, so if you want to destroy those weapons, you've really got to work for it, or use an EXE that hits at all ranges. Oh, sorry. The theme is called Never Give Up, not Take Your Heart. Don't know what I was thinking of. I had to quickly Google it. I was like, okay, what's the theme that plays there? Oh, I've been playing a lot of other games, so I probably just got muddled somewhere along the line. But I'll probably link it either in the comments or in the description. Probably the comments because it's easier, to this theme so you can listen to it properly yourself, because it is absolutely worth the time to listen to. Especially the chorus piece near the end of the track. This is a long track, by the way. It's like 5 minutes long.
No matter who my opponent is, I'll mow them
And also, people, it's also definitely worth mentioning, Dark Orange hits like a truck. As you might have noticed, Uzume is kind of nearly destroyed. But now we've finally got an opportunity to attack from behind. I've gone straight in as quick as I can with a next form attack just to try and destroy the weapons as soon as possible. It's just being wary because Dark Orange is going to have her turn before Uzume can have her next turn. So I don't want her to target Uzume again because that might be fatal at this point. So if I can break one of the weapons with one of these slices, I'd be very grateful. Because that one hits all over. Yeah, Dimensional Slice hits all over, so thankfully that was enough to break. But I need to get... This is another fight where you don't want people to not be in their CPU form. Any situation that arrives where someone isn't in their CPU form is a situation where they will absolutely get killed.
Can you withstand all of these spears?
And you can see, despite being essentially the final boss of the game, that health is dropping kind of quick because we still have access to the next forms. The next forms just rip through so much. There's such a godsend in these things. God, I love this soundtrack so much, and this theme is just so good. But if it didn't even die by getting attacked, the poison took her. Damn it, I didn't even notice. Post me should have paid more. Well, past me should have paid more attention.
Let's go.
But it's getting a full slash to try and get a bit of extra damage. Ow. Well, at least you're resistant to darkness, so that's what it looked like it said. Yeah, you're defensive towards darkness.
My turn. Now then, here I go.
Well, next turn will be Neptune's, and so I think I get Neptune to go over to heal Uzume. So whilst Neptune is going to do that to try and save Uzume's skin and get her back in the fight, since, you know, this is a very important fight for her in particular, I think I'm going to shut up for a minute and let the music play, because this is such an amazing theme that you just need to hear it yourself.
How's this? You're never gonna keep me down! Use this. Thanks!
I'll show you the power of the protagonist.
Let us begin the banquet of delusions!
Just, I don't know why the giant fights, all of them get to have amazing themes, but they do. Also, Uzume's dead again because she's not in her CPU form, or her HDD form, and so just got decked immediately. As I say, you can't let any of them not be in their goddess or HDD form. You have to absolutely get them transformed as soon as possible, because Dark Orange just wipes the floor of them. Is another reason why I can't imagine why you'd ever bring IF and Compa to this fight, because they'd just die in one turn.
Volcano dive. Eat this.
Now, what shall I do?
The only thing that's kind of helping a little here is that because Neptune is also with Uzume, Neptune's defense is pretty decent, especially in her next form, so she can tank a few more hits to try and get Uzume back up to snuff. You just got to be wary of things like this, her ultimate attack, Cursed Heavens.
End this. How's this?
As I have to pick up
Stand up, Uzume Tanoboshi.
Uzume again. No, see, the problem is that because of how much healing I've had Neptune do, the boss is angered towards Neptune now, so it's only targeting her. So I should really get her off the platform, the same platform. Otherwise, Uzume's back in risk again.
I'll back you up, Bert. Now eat this. 32-bit.
And although not as damaging as the next form attacks, collaboration attacks are still always worth doing because of how much damage they do. Like, they're more powerful than most of your standard attacks. Like, I skipped the animation again because I just did the same attack twice, but you can see it did still take a decent chunk because it's approaching its very last health bar. And to be fair, this fight is actually a really healthy length for a final boss. Like, it's a lot shorter than some of the bosses we previously fought.
Who should I choose?
Now, with this fight, I specifically really wanted Uzume to get the final strike.
Right on course. Got you.
Like I've mentioned before, that some of the fights I really want particular characters to get it, but this one I feel like the fight most matters to Uzume, so I wanted Uzume to be the one that captures the final punch. So I have her transform, and I keep in the animation because, you know, I was trying my hardest to make this super cinematic.
Let's end this stylishly.
And I go straight for Special Dream combo, hoping that'll be enough to kill. I'm pretty sure it will be, so I do get what I want in this occurrence. Like, there's been a couple times where I've been like, oh, it'd be great if that character ends it, and then they narrowly survive. But that being said, that's it. We've got a lot of cutscenes coming up after this that is making the rest of the video. But if you haven't gone for if you didn't view those dream sequences in V2, this is the end. After this, it's just the credits and the final cutscenes and the credits. In fact, even if you go for the true ending, they play the credits anyway to try and fake you out. So I will be cutting that out, just because it kind of works against having a Let's Play. But that being said, next time on Neptunia VIIR, we'll see what we can try and redeem from this situation arising. But until then, you guys take care now.
Until I exact my revenge on game industry, I can!
We won't let the likes of you get revenge!
Victory! We all won! We did it, Nep Jr.! We were able to save both worlds!
Thank goodness! Now Uzume won't disappear anymore either!
Nothing will get in the way of my revenge! If I'm to disappear, I'll take the other dimension CPU's power along with me!
No way! It can't be! For that CPU's power to disappear too? Damn it!
Hey, Bigme, can't we do something with Krar's power? Krosti's power is only able to move people to different dimensions. It can't do any more than that.
What is it now?
Everyone, this is bad. Look over there!
What is this horde of monsters?
Their numbers are pretty staggering, and they're coming by both land and sea. They're all heading the same way. Where could they be going?
That direction is... I believe they might be going towards the hole to hyperdimension.
Why? We defeated Kurome and everything. Why is this happening now?
That's because as she disappeared, she gave an order to all the monsters in this dimension to completely destroy hyperdimension. She really frickin' went out guns blazing. What? That's totally cheating!
What tenacity. No. At this point, you could call it malice.
She had despised game industry to that much of an extent, it seems.
It wasn't hate, it was just a bunch of misunderstandings and assumptions.
You're always convinced so easily.
Either way, let's get back to hyperdimension. At this rate, all the monsters are gonna get through. We'll have to stop them.
It's gonna be too late if we wait until we get to hyperdimension. We need to intercept them.
That's just impossible! We don't have the supplies or forces to face these numbers!
Looks like she actually won in the end.
No, I've got a plan. Gearsy, I need you to shoot the share crystal.
What?
Then all of you, hurry and get back to hyperdimension.
What are you saying, Uzume? Yeah, if we did something like that, you'd die. Don't you know that?
I do, but this is the only way I can protect this world. So please, Gearsy, your weapon should be strong enough to pierce that thing.
Why? Why? Why are you leaving this to me?
Your weapon is the only one that can destroy it from this far out. You've stood alongside me from the beginning as I've been trying to make my dreams a reality. I want you to see me through till the end.
I understand. I can't do it! I can't shoot!
Nepgear, shoot!
Uni... No! I can't possibly do it!
Why won't you understand Uzume's feelings? The reason she asked you, and not me or Keisha or Bisha, is because you're kin. You're her junior as the CPU of Planetoon.
But I...
Just shoot it, Gearsy!
I can't do it!
This is too heavy a burden to carry alone in the end.
I'll carry the weight with you, Nepgear. Uzume's entrusted dreams and her life.
Nepsy.
Neptune! Okay. Let's carry Uzume. Together!
Thank you. Nepsi. Gearsy. All right, go! Everyone, head back to Hyperdimension now!
Uzume, I'm so sorry!
So many things have happened, but I'm glad to have met you, Uzume.
Everyone is gone now.
Oh, that's right. Umio, I have one last request. I gave an order to all the monsters in Zero Dimension to gather at our home base. Please, take all of them to Hyperdimension.
Are you planning to go alone?
I feel bad I can't keep our promise, that we can't stay together. But you're the only one I can ask to carry this out.
Say no more. I will see this through. It's a promise. And Uzume. Goodbye.
Umio, thanks for always sticking by my side. For my sake. Nepsi, Gearsy. We didn't know each other very long, but it's been real fun being together. It's 'cause of you two I've made it this far without breaking.
You've really done it now, Uzume. How dare my dregs do this to me?
Serves you frickin' right. I'm gonna make my last dream come true. Just stay quiet, like fleeting memories should.
How can you talk of dreams after reaching this bleak end? Ridiculous!
You'll never get it.
But can everyone truly make it back to Hyperdimension safely? The monster horde will advance here soon, you useless tool.
Bring it on! I just gotta hold them off till Nepsi and the others are back safely. I can make it happen. That's much better than just waiting and doing nothing.
Why are you smiling? You're going to disappear as well.
I'm just really happy. I was able to meet Nepsi, Gearsy, and the other CPUs of game industry. I was able to fulfill my dream. There's nothing happier than this.